My name is Taylor King, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to interview me for Caveman Coffee. So, a little bit about myself. I am 21 years old, and from the ages of 18 to 21, I worked at a grocery store named Valley Produce Market, where I was a bagger, a cashier, and in charge of my own department named the Nut and Dried Fruit Department. As a bagger, I learned about time management. I learned how to equally manage my time with carts and the customers. When I did carts, I had to round all the carts from the parking lot to the cart corral on the side of the store. Then I had to go back inside and then take care of all the customers as well as the cashiers. The cashiers would bring up the items, I put the items in the bag, and either hand the bag to the customer and or put the bag inside the cart, and then I have to go to each of the cashier stations and do that. And over time, I also had to start doing the sweeping the front of the store, inside and the outside of the store to make sure it looked beautiful and customers wanted to come in. I also took care of go-backs, allowing me to map out the store, so when customers had a question, I could then answer it because I knew where everything was. As a cashier, I learned how to better communicate with the customers. There was many different ways of customers. There were some who were very happy, some who were very angry, some who were just tired, and some who were very neutral, and I learned how to communicate properly with each customer. And then as a part of the Nut and Dried Fruit Department, I worked completely by myself. As what I would do is basically I go up and I go in this very tiny room in the back of the store, and I would package all of the fruits and nuts. So they would come in a box. I would take the box and I would put it on the table, and I would I would get a bag, and I would scoop all of the nuts into a bag, seal the bag, put the bag on top of the scale, and the scale would spit out a sticker. I put the sticker on the bag. I have the bag. I put it in a milk crate, and I would get about 15 milk crates full of packaged nuts, and I would go to the front of the store and the aisle, and I would face both. I would face the display, I would face the aisle to make sure everything was really pretty and that people wanted to buy it. And I also took care of inventory and ordering, so I got to learn how to make sure what I had and what I needed, and then when I ordered it and when it came in, I was able to check off what it had and what I received, and then put it into the room and make sure it was very organized, because if I did it unorganizedly, I wouldn't have enough room to work. So I got to understand all three processes of looking what I have, ordering what I have, and then getting what I have and making sure I have enough room. I also, during that time, interned at a comedy club called Flappers in Burbank, where I was the showrunner, where I basically run the show. I set up the lights and the camera before the show, and then right before it starts, I talk to the MC, the headliner, and the comics in between. And I make sure that they know who I am and how the show is going to operate. And then I talk to the ticket booth, and they tell me how many people are going to be there. And if there's not going to be a lot of people, I can sit them closer to the front to make sure it's a much more packed show, or it feels more packed. But if it is a large packed show, I am then able to make sure everyone can fit, but also comfortably. After quitting my job at the grocery store, because I went to a trip in Europe, and when I got back, I started working at a pizza place where I learned the power of teamwork. Because at the pizza place, it's build your own, it's called Pyology, and each person has their own station. So if each person communicates with the person before them and the people around them, we can make sure we can make the best pizza for the customer. I also work again at Flappers, but as a dishwasher, where I work from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., and I've learned how to communicate much more freely with the kitchen staff, the bartenders, as well as the waiters and or waitresses, because all of them have dishes, all of them are very busy doing their jobs, and I need to swoop in, swoop out, take what I need, and not bother them or get in their way. I also learned what it's like to work the graveyard shift, which is very important to me because I understand how important working is. It doesn't matter what time you work, you still have to put your best effort. So the sale process is a 3-step process in my mind. There's a start, there's the middle, and the end. The start, to me, is one of the most important of the 3 processes because it's what starts everything off. If you have a positive, happy attitude, make eye contact, and have a firm handshake, you're off to a great start. The person you're talking to feels, they feel comfortable. They feel like you know what you're doing. And through a series of little conversations, some small talk, you can get to the reason why they're there. Why are they coming to you? What problem are they having that they feel you can solve? And through that leads to just asking why a few times, figuring out why, what is going on at the very bottom. At the very bottom, what is the problem? Not at the top, all the way down to the bottom. What is the problem that needs to be solved? That leads to the second part of the process, the middle. It's finding out, it's figuring out what the problem is and then how to solve it. And through solving it, it's finding the solution. Now, the solution isn't just me going, this is the solution. This is me asking, hey, this is what you've given me. This is the solution I've come up with. Does this make sense? And if it does not make sense, or they do not like it, it is going back to figuring out, okay, what is another problem? What is a problem we are not solving? And then readjusting the solution to then be able to fix that problem. After finding the answer to the problem, it is satisfaction. Did my solution, did my help this person answer the problem? Is it complete? Are they okay with it? Which involves giving a call back, a checking in. Through the first process to the middle of the process, we have now become friends. It is not one-sided. This is a two-way street. I help them, they help me. And then, furthermore, I can use that to help me. Leading, and them as well. The third process, the end, is not just disappearing. That's where the callback comes back. Asking them, hey, how's everything doing? Did it work? Is the problem solved? Is there another problem that has arisen that I can help you with? If there isn't, is there another problem that I can find someone to help you? Because we're friends now. We went through this process together. We can now help each other. Basically, what I've learned from the Caveman himself, Tate Fletcher, from your podcast, Pirate Life Radio, the word coach comes from the word stagecoach, which is a stagecoach basically takes you from where you are to where you're going. That's the same thing with the sales process. You have a problem. You're in a solution. That's where you are. You came to me. Now it's my time to help you get to where you want to be. Where do you want to be with the product that I'm giving you the information about, or I'm offering you to purchase? How is that going to help you to get to where you want to be? Yes, books. I have read numerous books. One of the books that I've read that is business-wise, I would say, is Travis Barker's memoir. The reason why that sounds a little strange is because Travis Barker is a drummer for numerous bands, and people don't really see him as a person who would write a business book or a businessman. Just saying, he is part of the music business. The music business is one of the hardest businesses to get into. Not only is he in the business, he is one of the most recognizable people in the music business to date. And I mean, I understand that's not really business. You're talking about like a store or as if an entrepreneur, if you will. Well, he is an entrepreneur. He does have a business. It's called Famous Stars and Straps, which opened its doors in 1999 in Riverside, California. But he did not start there. He started just like Bill Gates, in a garage. He started out with a laminator and a press for t-shirts and stickers. And as he was going on tour, well, all of his bands he's a part of, he would start selling merchandise. And when he got a new sticker, he would go out and about into the city and start posting them on stop signs, billboards, and buses. And because Travis Barker has his fingers and his hands in so many different things, music, entrepreneurs, sports, all of those people looked up to him, and he inspired them. And because he inspired them, they decided, hey, I'm gonna wear I want to be a portion of what Travis Barker is. I'm going to wear this. I like his business way. I'm going to support this. That's why I feel Travis Barker he is a businessman. That book is a business book because he started from just banging on a couple pots and pans in his kitchen, and then he learned how to play the drums. He learned how to skateboard, to BMX bike. He then networked, and people started hearing his name and saw how talented he was, and he used that to inspire other people, and he put that on a brand. He gave that brand a name. He gave that brand a meaning. Put it on a t-shirt, put it on a sticker, put it on a hat, and then started to sell it. That's what a business person is. That's what a business person should be. Someone who inspires. Someone who goes, hey, be different, be interesting, be unique, do something with your life, and then have a message, and then give that message to other people so then they also can be inspired. That's what true business is, being inspired. Yes, my greatest strength, I would be positivity. Like I said previously, I worked alone in a small room called the Nut and Dried Fruit Department. And to be completely honest, that isn't always the funnest job. It isn't always great to wake up real early in the morning, go into a tiny room, and be by yourself. And it can be difficult sometimes, and it's very important to have a positive outlook on life. It's also very stressful in a way to go to work, to go to school, as well as to go to an internship that's not really near you because you like what you do, and then you have to communicate in different ways. I will give you an example of how I'm positive. A friend of mine at work, he came up to me and talked to me about how his daughter and him got into a large argument. And I've never been there before. I don't have a daughter. I've been in arguments, but like never as soul crushing as the one he had. And we had a good conversation, and I told him that everything's gonna be okay, and that right now in this moment this is difficult. But his daughter is 17 years old, and that's a tricky, rough time. And sometimes you need to do things that aren't great to learn from them, because that's what we do. We learn from our mistakes. We learn from the things that don't go well. It makes us stronger. And I make sure that goes with me everywhere I go. Coming back from Europe, it was very hard to find a job. And if I just gave up, I wouldn't be at Biology. I wouldn't be at Flappers. I'd still be at home doing nothing. I'd be watching Netflix all day. I would have no money. I wouldn't be able to go anywhere. The reason why I now have two jobs is because I was positive. Because hey, look, nothing happened. I'm gonna keep trying. Cool, I got one. Okay, that's not enough money to make sure that I live comfortably, because I'm not getting enough hours. Okay, let's wait for an opportunity. Okay, and there was a posting that Flappers was looking for dishwashers. Perfect. I went, I applied, I knew the person who was doing the interview because they were the waiter from the Yoo-Hoo room where I did sound. I was able to communicate with them. If I just had a negative attitude every time I did the Yoo-Hoo room, then the person I was talking to wouldn't have saw me in the positive way they saw me. They went, oh, this guy, he's negative all the time. He doesn't care about his job. No, he saw me. I went up there and said, "Oh, hey, I know you." He knows me as a positive person. One of the most positive things I say is, "I'm just glad to be here." Times get rough. A job at 2 in the morning or 5 in the morning is very difficult. But I know deep down that these people gave me a shot. These people hired me to do a job. It is me to do a job. It is up to me to do the best job I can do in a positive way. Hey, I could be somewhere else right now. My life could be better. It could, but it could also be worse. It could be 1,000 times worse. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to have every single day where I can go to a job and do the best I possibly can. My biggest weakness. That is a loaded question, and my biggest weakness right now is going out of my comfort zone. I lived my life very sheltered, and right now, 21 years old, Taylor King, I've decided to do everything that I thought I could never do. Whatever that may be. Oh, I could never play football because I'm too short. I could never win. I could never learn jiu-jitsu. I'm too fat and I'm not flexible. I could never run a mile in 5 minutes. Those things I am doing right now. So my biggest weakness, you could say, is telling myself I can't do something. People do it all the time. I've done it so many times in my entire life. But right now, currently, I am changing that. Like the examples I just said. I could never do jiu-jitsu because I'm too fit, I'm not flexible. Well, 2 to 3 times a week, I drive to Burbank and I'm learning jiu-jitsu right now. And I'm doing bit by bit. I'm learning bit by bit. I'm learning how to keep my balance, become more flexible. And if I can't make it to jiu-jitsu, I'm trying at least 5 to 7 times a week to go to the gym, to get better at running, to get better at pushing myself. And I can tell you right now that I was never good at running on the treadmill for 5 minutes. Well, now I can run the treadmill for 15 minutes. And it's an amazing accomplishment. That's what it is. My greatest weakness is telling myself I can't do it. And I'm changing that by doing everything that I told myself I could never do. An example of a bad job that I felt unmotivating. That's hard to answer, mainly because I see things in such a positive way that it's hard to say what a bad job really is. I mean, you could, if we look at it on paper, the nut and dried fruit job was technically a bad job. Working all by myself, in a small room that technically was bad in a way. But for me, it taught me so much about myself. It showed me how important other people are. It showed me how important being a part of a community is. Because being alone for 8 hours a day can really take an interesting toll on a person. But it also made me realize that I can work by myself. I am 100% comfortable with working by myself, but I'm also 100% certain that if I was given the opportunity to work with other people, I will take it. And I feel that's really important for a person to learn and understand about themselves, is to work by themselves as well as with other people. Because life, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if one day we go to work and go, hey, here's a big project by yourself. I got that. I'm good to go. Hey, Taylor, welcome to the job today. You are now working with 6 people on this. Amazing. Great. I got that. I know how to work that way. That to me is exciting. To me, that's a great way to live. Being able to just go, you know what? I can do this myself. Or you know what? I need help. I need to ask someone for help. Having that ability is great. So saying, well, if it was bad, it's not bad. Even on paper, now that I speak of it, it's not bad. It's amazing. A good job, though. A good job. That inspired me and motivated me was doing sound in the Yoo-Hoo room. Technically that was an internship, yes, but on occasions they will call me when an intern is sick or cannot go, and then that way I will also get paid. So it is internship, but I also gotten paid before, so I do count that as a job. In the Yoo-Hoo Room, I got to see so many stand-up comedians, people I know personally on the open mic circuit, or as well as people who I've seen on TV. And it's wonderful to sit down and see people do stand up and go, oh wow, I didn't think of it this way. Oh wow, that's interesting. Oh, okay. And then be able, after the show, to communicate with those people and ask them, hey, how'd you come up with this? Hey, what's it like doing this? If you have any advice for me, can you help me out? And also, it was such a good job because I was able to network. I learned that if you're a happy, positive person, to everyone you meet, people will remember you. I will get people who will ask me, hey Taylor, on Tuesday, can you do sound for me? I prefer you do sound for me. Now I can't tell them yes or no, but just knowing that they go, hey, I like this guy, I want him. Being able to also sit down and communicate and then learn about so many other people and their writing processes is amazing. Just sitting down with creative people is exciting, and that's why it was such a good job and always inspirational. So if you wanted me to explain my current employer or a previous employer, well, I would like to talk about my previous employer, Douglas. I apologize, I don't know his last name. He was my manager at Valley Produce for 1.5 years until he left. He taught me the most important thing that I wish, if I ever saw him again, to thank him for, and that was work ethic. He showed me how to have an amazing work ethic. Every day he would come up to me and go, hi Taylor, this is what I need you to do. I need you to do this, this, and this. And then I would go do it, and when I did it, he would check it, and he would tell me, Taylor, good job, you did this. Hey Taylor, do you see what's wrong here? And then I would stand there and I would look, and I had to criticize myself. I had to take down my ego and learn what I did wrong to tell him. Not only did I have to visualize what I did wrong, I had to tell him to show him that even I could call myself out. And if I didn't grab at it, he would tell me, and then go, oh, you know what, you're right. He's the person who showed me that I could be a leader. He showed me what I could do, because I was just some overweight kid. I just got a job because my mom told me to get a job, and I somehow got this one. And he showed me I can do much more. If I put my mind to it, I can do it. And for an 18-year-old kid who did not think that way ever, that was very important for someone to do that. I remember I would come in from doing carts, and he would go, Taylor, where'd you go? I was like, oh, I was doing carts. He goes, for that long? Yeah, well, I went all the way to the end where there was 3 carts over by this area that's not near the store. Then I had to go all the way over here on the opposite side because there were 4 carts. And he goes, okay, cool, Taylor, I understand. And then he would come to me as a bagger and ask me to do grocery jobs. One time he asked me to work in the deli. He tried to allow me to work in the meat department. Slight problem, I was too short for the meat department, but he still tried. He saw my work ethic and thought this guy would be great for that department, and he said, hey, let's try this out. He would come to me and he would tell me what I did good. He told me also what I did wrong. He told me when I was 18 years old, I had a hard time learning when to communicate. I would stand around, I would talk to the cashiers. It'd be 8 o'clock at night, closing's at 9:30. I would sit around and chat. And he would come up to me and say, hey Taylor, look, I get it, you like to talk, I understand, but here's the thing. You have to look at this whole entire store as a goalpost. And you're a soccer. See, if you just stand around and someone kicks a soccer ball, they're going to make the goal. You have to constantly be moving, alright? You do not want them to score. And at the time, I did not understand that, but now I do. Life is a goalpost. And if I just stand there, life is just going to keep hitting me. But if I keep moving through life and I keep blocking it, I can win at life. I can become what I want to be. That's what I learned. That he was an amazing previous employer. He is one of the people that made me who I am today. This is actually my favorite part of this interview is sell you something. In April 5th, 1994, Kurt Cobain was found dead, holding a shotgun, presumably suicide, and on his feet was a pair of Chuck Taylors. And because of his death, in a way, Chuck Taylors are that's the reason why Chuck Taylors are so popular today. Because of Kurt Cobain's following, because people decided to memorize Kurt Cobain by wearing the shoes he wore when he died. The thing is, Kurt Cobain is a hustler. Kurt Cobain followed his dreams. Kurt Cobain did the impossible. He inspired millions upon millions of people, even after death. The people I look up to, who hustle, who inspire me, also wear Chuck Taylors. Kyle Kinane, Machine Gun Kelly, Yellow Wolf, Joe Rogan. People who perform for millions upon millions of fans almost every single day wear Chuck Taylors. People who wear Chuck Taylors hustle. People who do something with their lives hustle. That's why Converse are shoes for hustlers. If you want to go out and you want to go do something with your life, wear Chuck Taylors. If you want to be different, go wear Chuck Taylors. There is a reason why in every single movie, main character wears Chuck Taylors. The loser kid, Chuck Taylors. The bad boy, Chuck Taylors. The quiet guy, Chuck Taylors. The rapper, Chuck Taylors. The drug dealer, Chuck Taylors. The gangster, Chuck Taylors. The skater, Chuck Taylors. The punk rock kid, Chuck Taylors. The quiet girl in class, Chuck Taylors. The really smart girl in class, Chuck Taylors. The anarchy girl, Chuck Taylors. Everybody wears Chuck Taylors because everybody can wear Chuck Taylors, which means everybody can hustle. Why should you hire me? That's an amazing question, and I'm glad you asked me. I'm glad, because here's the thing. I finally have enough information about myself to tell you why you should hire me. Because I'm Taylor King. If you want something done, I will take care of it. If you want someone who has work ethic, I will do it. I will take care of it. If you want someone to go above and beyond, I will take care of it. This is the reason why I know this. Is because working in that Yoo-hoo room, working at the grocery store, working at the pizza place, working in the back, I've had enough people come up to me and tell me I am a hard worker. I will go to the Yoo-hoo room. Every time they give me a call and I am not busy, I answer that call and I am there with a positive attitude, always willing to work. I go to the pizza place. I'm always there on time. Whatever my boss needs me to do, I will do it. I will take care of it. At Flappers again, as a dishwasher, I learn something new every single day, and I keep that to myself. I allow that to sink in, and I remember it. One of the most important things I have ever learned is a combination of what Joey Diaz, Malcolm Gladwell, and I and my friend Sean Kay have come up with. The rules of becoming an outlier. Vision, talent, work ethic, experience, and opportunity. Repeat. I have all those things. I have the vision. I have the vision of where I want to be in the future. I have the talent. I am gaining the talent. I am constantly always looking forward to what I can do more with myself. How much more talent can I get? How much more information can I get? Work ethic. I work constantly. There is no time where I have no rest, just like you, Tate Fletcher, at the very beginning of your podcast. You have the intro where Joe Rogan says, "This is Tate Fletcher, and you will see no smoke. You will see no stop." That is me. You inspire me. I am going forth just like you did. My work ethic. I work 2 jobs. I go to school. I do stand-up. I do jiu-jitsu. I go to the gym. I have a podcast on YouTube. I'm constantly doing all those things. I'm constantly getting better. I'm constantly learning. Experience. Without experience, we have nothing to talk about. Without experience, there's nothing to truly learn from. That's why it's good to not only read books, but also to go experience life. Read a book about surfing, but then go surf. Go experience without surfer experienced. I have multiple experiences. I'm always going out of my way. I got into photography now, so now I'm going, when I find something interesting, I go chase it, and I go take a picture of it. It may be a bug, it might be an animal, it might be a cool car, it might be an amazing, beautiful sunset. Then opportunity. Opportunity, people say it comes once in a lifetime. That's not true. Opportunity comes every single day. We just have to open the door. If we look at it this way, I go to work, I audition for a show at Flappers. I did not get to be on the show, but I was able to have the opportunity to work in the Yoo-Hoo room. I worked in the Yoo-Hoo room, which allowed me to meet all the people who allowed me to get the job as a dishwasher. Another opportunity. So in the future, there will be another opportunity from that dishwasher position to move up to something else. Repeat over and over again until I get where I want to get, and then I find out what I want more. I just evolving. That's why you should hire me, because I constantly evolve. I'm constantly positive, and I'm constantly working to become a better version of myself. Yes, I do have a few questions for you. Employment. As you can tell, I am very interested in moving forward. So if I were to work for you, is there any way that I could be promoted up? And how far can I be promoted up from the position I'm currently in? Another question I have is opportunities. You have Tate Fletcher, you have Caveman Coffee, you also have Pirate Life Radio. Is there a way to have Caveman Radio? Is there a way to make a podcast so people can learn more about Caveman Coffee? Because Caveman Coffee is about drinking coffee but also living a better, healthier lifestyle. And I want to have an avenue for an opportunity of that sort. I have a quick question about benefits. Not the benefits of health or anything like that, but the benefits of being able to have different sections of Caveman Coffee. If I were to work for Caveman Coffee, what kind of opportunities would I be able to work for or work towards? Or how many years or how long would I need to work for Caveman Coffee to be able to have my own seat at the top? You know, how can I be a part of making Caveman Coffee better? Thank you so much for your time. I hope to hear from you soon. Have a wonderful day.